Good evening, it is 5 p.m. on Thursday, August 6th, and you're tuned into CFRC 101.9 FM, broadcasting from Lower Carruthers Hall on Queen's Campus in Kingston, Ontario. I'm CFRC's broadcast journalist, Christina Laurie, and this is Kingston Currents, your weekly roundup of the latest Limestone local news. CFRC's news programming is brought to you by the generous support of the Community Radio Fund of Canada under the Local Journalism Initiative, Queen's University Career Services, and for our podcast, Smith Engineering at Queen's University. Coming up in today's episode, our feature story is the kickoff of Theatre Kingston's Fringe Festival today, a special uncurated portion of the Kick and Push Festival featuring 17 shows over the next 11 days. Then some messages directly from the City of Kingston and a message from Cataraqui Conservation on their Lemoyne Point Conservation Area Grassland Habitat Restoration Project. Plus your weather and traffic report for this upcoming week, and a few events to keep on your radar from CFRC's events calendar. Without further delay, let's dive in. The Theatre Kingston Fringe Festival returns August 6th to 16th as part of the Kick and Push Festival, bringing 17 shows to Kingston over 11 days. Unlike most of Kick and Push, the Fringe isn't curated. Artists enter a lottery for a spot, meaning the festival can bring together a wide range of performances and give artists the chance to try something they might not otherwise have had the opportunity to stage. Rosemary Doyle is the artistic director of TK Fringe. Here's how she described the festival in an interview with CFRC.
Well, we're kind of the scrappy younger sister of the Kick and Push Festival. So the Kick and Push Festival, most of the shows are curated to be the innovative, interesting things that professionals are doing in and around. And so they bring them into Kingston. And then with the Fringe, there is no curation. You just join the lottery and you're in it. But because of that, we have a lot of people that bring very innovative things that they would not be able to do other places. So it is innovative, it is fun, but it's the Fringe. So it's got a little bit of more of an air of excitement and an air of like, here, we're going to do this, because why not?
This is the Fringe's 10th anniversary, and Doyle has been involved for 8 of those years. Over that time, the festival has moved through storefronts, the pandemic, and into the Grand Theatre. This year brings another change, with the Grand closed for air conditioning renovations. TK Fringe is moving to the Tet Centre, which happens to be home turf, with the Tet Centre being where Theatre Kingston's studio space is located.
And with our evolution, we've gone from being a storefront Fringe to going through the pandemic and being a virtual online Fringe to now, then we decided we wanted to be comfortable, so we put stuff in the Grand and we created spaces there. And now this year, because the Grand is closed for air conditioning renovation, we are now in the Tet Centre, and I'm really excited to see how the Tet Centre lends itself to being a Fringe venue.
Doyle says the Tet Centre also brings some new possibilities this year.
This time we have, instead of 3 venues that we usually have, we have 2. And so the festival is much more like a festival in that every day for 11 days, there's programming all day until well into the night every single day. So it's much more like every day you can see many, many shows happening, as opposed to something that just kind of comes awake as a festival during the weekend and then kind of becomes more manageable during the week. This is going to be fantastic and huge the whole 11 days through. We'll have a lobby with the box office in it, so there'll be somewhere where you can go between shows. You can also, the Juniper's all set to be giving us like things faster, so you can pop in, grab something, and then hang out by the water while you wait to see the next show, and you can wander to all the galleries and stuff. So there'll be stuff to do between shows because we are in the Tet Centre. The venues, you'll see a big difference in the TK studio space. We've turned it into a perfect little black box. We've done a lot of renovations to it and innovations to it to make it that much better, a little space. So it won't look quite so much as when people have seen shows here in the past where it's kind of an office-y place turned into a theater. This now is very much a theater.
While Fringe festivals can range significantly in size, Doyle says TK Fringe has found a good balance for Kingston.
Here in Kingston, we're considered a boutique Fringe. As far as small Fringe festivals go, we're on the larger side. But for me, it's really about, like some Fringe festivals have like 5 shows in them. Like we're 17. So we're a good size, but it's also, we're a good size for Kingston. I think this is about the right amount because we get a good audience for most of the shows, right? So that, for me, it's that. Like once we start selling out every single show in the Fringe, then I will think about making it a bigger Fringe. But until we have good return for the artists involved, I think you keep it at a reasonable, digestible level.
The Fringe model is also designed to make putting on a show more accessible. The artists share venues, crew, marketing, and other resources, allowing individual companies to put on work at a fraction of what it could cost to produce a show on their own.
The idea of a Fringe festival is that all these shows come together, and so they're able to put on something collectively that none of them would be able to afford by themselves. So, like, for example, putting up a show by yourself, usually the outpay for a theater show to be able to do one would be anywhere from a minimum of $3,000 to go up from there. Now, for the Fringe Festival, we charge each show $420. So that means that from the ticket price, a lot more money goes into their pocket. Have to work a lot harder. That's all. But that's okay. It's kind of fun too, though.
And for audiences, Doyle says the idea is not necessarily to pick one show and go home. It's about taking a chance on something you might not otherwise see, and then finding the next one.
The idea of a Fringe is for the audience. You don't just come and see one play. That's not fringing. What you do when you come and do the Fringe, you come, you see a play, you think that was great, you get out of the play, you go, what am I going to say next? You see the next play.
Ultimately, Doyle says she hopes TK Fringe becomes something Kingston audiences recognize and look forward to each year.
I'm hoping that more people know what it is, so that the next time I get interviewed, everyone's like, oh, it's the Fringe is back. Yay, the Fringe. Everybody knows what a Fringe is. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that everybody will come, experience it, and then be looking forward to seeing it next year.
And 8 years in, Doyle still gets a thrill from the sheer logistics of making 17 different shows happen.
I've been in theater since I was 8 years old, and my favorite thing about theater is actually making it happen. And when one is involved being the production manager and the artistic director of the Fringe, you just get to do that writ large. Like you're making 17 different companies happy, 17 different companies, you're fixing out what their mistakes are, you're fixing mistakes before they could happen, you're like working out the logistics, you're just keeping the machine rolling. So like when I actually run the Fringe, because I start every single show, because I feel like I need to be there just in case something, if anything goes wrong, I'm the person that needs to be there. So I start every single show, and while it's running, it's really great because I feel like a train conductor. Like I feel like the guy from Thomas the Tank Engine. I'm like going, and go, and go. And it all just runs like absolute clockwork.
Once again, TK Fringe runs August 6th to 16th as part of the Kick and Push Festival, with 17 productions presented at 2 locations within the Tet Center, starting in the late morning and running well into the night. And one final note from Doyle, if you're going to Fringe, don't be late. But if you are, be sure to catch something else.
Be fashionably early to Fringe. Or take the risk and go see something else. If you don't make it to the show that you were supposed to go to, come and see a different show.
Before we get into more local news, let's take a look at your weather and traffic report for the rest of the week. Starting with the roads, looking ahead to the weekend, there's a few major closures to keep in mind. First, tonight, King Street West at George Street will be affected by overnight paving from 7 p.m. tonight until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, with crews working near KHSC's emergency ramp. For ongoing closures, Princess Street remains closed between Frontenac and Division for reconstruction. Cranbrook Street between Lakeview Avenue and Days Road is closed for pedestrian improvements through August 31st. Park Street between Macdonell and Victoria Streets is closed daily for installation of an all-way stop through August 14th. South Bartlett Street between Victoria and Smith Streets remains closed for facade restoration, and Leroy Grant Drive is closed between John Kenter Boulevard and Elliott Avenue for roadway rehabilitation. And the big one for the weekend, the Kingston Thousand Islands Poker Run will bring road closures downtown from Friday morning through Sunday evening. Ontario Street between Brock Street and Clarence Street will be closed from 7 a.m. Friday through 6:30 p.m. Sunday. Then on Saturday, Fairview Road between Hilldale Avenue to the end of the road will close from 2 to 7 p.m. for the Fairview Road Block Party. And looking a little further ahead, the LaSalle Causeway will be fully closed to vehicles, cyclists, and pedestrians on Sunday, August 9th from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. to allow for the temporary opening of the Marine Navigation Channel. Now looking to the skies, tonight we're expecting clouds with a 40% chance of showers and a low of 19. Tomorrow on Friday, a mix of sun and cloud with a 30% chance of showers and a high of 27. It'll be a little cooler overnight with cloudy periods and a low of 18. On Saturday, expect a mix of sun and cloud with a 30% chance of showers and a high of 27. So a decent start to the weekend, some clouds, some sunshine, and a chance you'll want to keep an umbrella nearby. Those are your traffic and weather updates for this upcoming weekend. Now let's turn back to more local news. Cataraqui Conservation is preparing to begin a major grassland habitat restoration project at Lemoyne Point Conservation Area, with work getting underway this month and continuing into spring 2027. The project is focused on about 22.5 hectares at the south end of Lemoyne Point, where native grasses and wildflowers have gradually been replaced by shrubs and other woody vegetation. According to Cataraqui Conservation, that shrub encroachment has reduced the quality of habitat for a number of species, including bobolink and eastern meadowlark, two native grassland birds that are listed as threatened under the Federal Species at Risk Act. It has also reduced the availability of plants that support pollinators. The goal of the project is to restore the area to functional native grassland by removing invasive or encroaching shrubs, including gray dogwood, and re-establishing native grasses and flowering plants. Cataraqui Conservation says the restored habitat will provide better conditions for threatened grassland birds, other ground nesting species, and pollinators, while also making the area more resilient to climate change and future shrub and invasive species encroachment. Cataraqui Conservation has hired Ducks Unlimited Canada's Conservation Pro Division to carry out the work. The restoration will involve mechanically clearing the woody vegetation, followed by targeted herbicide applications where necessary to prevent the shrubs from quickly returning. The site will then be prepared and seeded with native grass and forb mix, designed with the habitat needs of bobolink and other grassland species in mind. Cataraqui Conservation says the project is being carried out using an integrated pest management approach, meaning a combination of methods will be used to restore the habitat while minimizing environmental impacts and limiting chemical treatment to only what is necessary. The timing of the work has also been designed to minimize disturbance to species at risk and comply with federal and provincial requirements protecting wildlife. There will be some impacts for people visiting Lemoyne Point while the work is underway. Cataraqui Conservation says the south parking lot at the front road entrance, along with portions of the service road and nearby trails, will have temporary closures during some phases of the project. During vegetation clearing in August, Trail 5, which runs directly through the restoration area, is expected to be closed for up to about 2 weeks. There will also be temporary restrictions around the restoration area during the herbicide application, which is expected to require about a day of closure in September. Cataraqui Conservation says closures will be limited to a few hours or days whenever possible, and visitors will be notified through social media and signage at parking areas and trails. The northern portion of Lemoyne Point Conservation Area will not be affected. The project is expected to continue through the spring of 2027, when the restored meadow will be monitored to see how successfully the new grassland vegetation has become established and whether any early maintenance is needed. Cataraqui Conservation says the project is funded through external partners specifically for habitat restoration. Questions about the Lemoyne Point Grassland Habitat Restoration Project can be directed to Cataraqui Conservation at 613-546-4228 or through its general email address info@crca.ca. A familiar summer tradition is returning to Grass Creek Park next weekend with the Kingston Sheepdog Trials Festival running August 7th through 9th. The City of Kingston says skilled sheepdogs and their handlers will once again take over Grass Creek Park for the 3-day festival, which combines competitive sheepdog trialing with demonstrations, family activities, and a vendor market. This year marks the 38th Kingston Sheepdog Trial at Grass Creek Park. Amanda Milliken, chair of the Sheepdog Trials Committee, says it promises to be a special event with the sheep coming from a flock on Wopu's Island. She says those sheep are happy to challenge the dogs, making for a particularly difficult test of wits, and plenty of dramatic moments. For anyone unfamiliar with the sport, trialing involves dogs, usually border collies, competing with their handlers to herd sheep through a series of obstacles. But the city says there's more to the festival than the competition. Visitors can also check out shearing, spinning and weaving demonstrations, agility shows, face painting, and a vendor market. The City of Kingston's events office is supporting the festival again this year. Megan Surratt, the city's manager of events and programs, says the sheepdog trials have been captivating audiences in Kingston for decades, offering a weekend of world-class competition, demonstrations, activities, and vendors, celebrating agricultural traditions, all in the setting of Grass Creek Park. The festival runs Friday, August 7th and Saturday, August 8th from 8 in the morning until 6 in the evening. On Sunday, August 9th, it runs from 8 in the morning until 5 p.m. Grass Creek Park is at 2991 Highway 2 in East Kingston. Admission is $10 per person per day or $25 for all 3 days, and children under 12 get in for free. Both cash and card will be accepted at the gate. The city says more information is available through the city's website or at kingstonsheepdogtrials.ca. In another message directly from the City of Kingston, the City of Kingston is introducing a new visitor access process at City Hall, with visitors now being asked to check in at the front reception desk when entering the building during regular business hours. The change took effect on Tuesday, July 28th. According to a City of Kingston release, visitors entering City Hall will see signage directing them to the reception area, where they'll have a brief check-in before being directed to where they need to go. People visiting public-facing services, including the payment center and the elections office, can proceed to those areas after checking in. If someone is attending a meeting or conducting business in a non-public area of City Hall, they'll be met and escorted by a city staff member. The new process also applies to tourists and people taking self-guided visits. After checking in, they can continue to visit designated public areas. Organized tours and groups attending meetings, events, or other civic activities will also be required to report to the front reception desk. The city says the new process follows a third-party threat risk assessment at City Hall, along with ongoing workplace health and safety planning. Importantly, the city says this is a proactive measure and is not being introduced in response to a specific incident or threat. City Hall remains open to residents, tourists, visitors, staff, and people conducting business with the city. The city says the new check-in process is intended to improve safety and help visitors find their way through the building, while maintaining public access to City Hall. And a reminder from the City of Kingston for anyone who wants to have a say in this year's municipal election stickers. The city says more than 60 designs were submitted by community members of all ages, and the finalists have now been selected. There are 6 finalists for the I Voted sticker and 4 finalists for the Future Voter sticker, and the city is now asking Kingstonians to choose the winners. Voting is open to all Kingston residents until 4 p.m. on August 17th. You can vote online through the city's Get Involved Kingston website or by calling 613-546-0000 or by emailing getinvolvedkingston@cityofkingston.ca. The winning designs will be printed and handed out at voting locations during advance voting on October 16th and 17th and Election Day, October 26th. I Voted stickers will be available to voters at all voting locations, while the Future Voter stickers will also be available for young people. The winning designers will get a sheet of their stickers to keep as a memento. So if you want to help decide what Kingston's official election stickers look like this year, the city says you have until 4 p.m. August 17th to cast your vote. Before we wrap up this evening, I'm going to run through your weekend forecast, a roundup of just some of the events Kingston has to offer to finish off your week. Starting tonight, if you're looking to head out after tonight's show, at 6:30 p.m. you can head to the TET Center for Finding Scenes in Everyday Life, Looking, Walking, Writing, an event focused on observing the world around you and turning those everyday moments into writing. At 7, there's a screening of High School Musical at Springer Market Square. Also at 7, Sensing Survival gets underway at the Elbow Lake Environmental Education Center. If you're looking to do some trivia tonight, you've got plenty of options at 7, music trivia at Something in the Water, trivia at Riverhead, and trivia at Spearhead. Then at 8:30, karaoke gets going at Jersey's, followed by another round at the Buckle at 9. And at 9:30, the weekly Urban Music Social takes over La Vida Bistro. On Friday, August 7th, starting at 10 in the morning at Grass Creek Park, the Kingston Sheepdog Trials Spindle Fest gets underway. You can head to the Sydenham Street Community Space between Princess and Queen at 12:30 for a Spanish conversation session. At 7 p.m., it's time to kick up your boots. Kickin' It Country returns to the City Hall Amphitheater with live local country music. And if you're still going later, Friday night karaoke starts at the Buckle at 9, with karaoke night at Daft Brewing also getting underway at 9 and running until 1 a.m. On Saturday, August 8th, it's a busy one. The Kingston Public Market gets underway at Springer Market Square at 8:30 in the morning, featuring local vendors. Then at 10, the Gananoque Craft Market takes over Town Hall until 4. And from 10 until 4, the Women's Arts Festival takes place at City Park, celebrating women artists and creators. At 11, you can catch chef demos with Aquaterra at the City Hall Amphitheater. Then at 12:30, Saturday Sessions brings local musicians to Confederation Park. And at 3 p.m., head back out to Grass Creek Park for the Kingston Sheepdog Trials Sheep to Shawl competition, where you can watch the sheepdog trials and see the process of turning fleece into a finished shawl. Then at 7, you can wrap up your Saturday with some line dancing at the Buckle. And finally, on Sunday, August 9th, the Memorial Center Farmers Market runs from 9 until 2. And at 10, you've got two options, yoga in Battery Park or the Kingston Sheepdog Trials Shawl Auction and Spinning Frolic at Grass Creek Park. And if you've been following the sheepdog events all weekend, Sunday is the finale, with the Shawl Auction and Spinning Frolic bringing festivities to a close. Then for the Night Owls, karaoke takes over both the Merchant and the Toucan at 9 p.m. Be sure to keep in mind this weekend as well, both the Kingston Sheepdog Trials and the TK Fringe Festival take place over the entire weekend, so be sure to catch a few events. Once again, that was just some of the events coming up this weekend in the region. Be sure to head to CFRC.ca for our full events and concerts listings, curated by CFRC's Community News and Arts Coordinator, Jenny Hinch. If you have an event or concert that you'd like to add to our online or on your calendar, reach out today via CFRC.ca or at CFRC Music on Instagram using the link tree in our bio. That is all things current in Kingston for this week. Thank you for listening to CFRC's local news programming, brought to you by the generous support of the Community Radio Fund of Canada under the Local Journalism Initiative, Queen's University Career Services, and for our podcast, Smith Engineering at Queen's University. To revisit episodes and listen on the go, head to our podcast network at podcast.cfrc.ca. Be sure to stay tuned for more CFRC programming coming up next.
Thank you for listening to this podcast produced at CFRC 101.9 FM at Queen's University, situated on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee peoples and brought to you by the generous support of the Faculty of Engineering and Applied Science.